everyone. Welcome to the BPD Bunch. I'm your host, Zanny, and today I'm here with Andre, Selene, Raf, Georgette, and Melanie. We're continuing our conversation from Wednesday about non-therapy approaches to recovery for BPD. If this or other BPD-related topics interest you, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you do not miss anything. Today's question is, how have support groups or peer-led initiatives or even just like peer connections acted as a therapeutic experience for you?
Some of you might laugh because I know a lot of the audience members are quite young, so you've grown up with internet. But the institution of social media like Instagram was actually a really wonderful way for me to connect with people because I'm in an age group where I don't get a chance to see a lot of my physical friends because of family commitments and work commitments. So when I went onto their gram, I started meeting loads of like-minded people, and then eventually that led to me finding the famous BPD bunch and becoming a part of that. So it's quite a sweet way because people often vilify the social media, but I didn't have access to therapy at the time. So the conversations I'd have with even talking on shows like this and private conversations with other people that had similar diagnosis, it is literally changed my life and given me so much more confidence. But before I interacted in that way, I always thought you had to go to a specific clinical type of therapy or treatment, or it wasn't valid. So I think just talking to simplify it, talking to someone else who has a shared mindset, that's really changed a lot of my life. But it's also encouraged me to go forth and research. Like, because when I join these groups, people are always talking about different things that I've never heard about, or this type of training or this type of work. So that's been really wonderful for me as well.
I had like a reaction when you said that because I have nearly the same answer and was thinking like, I'm probably going to get hate for this answer. But the same thing, like, has actually been really helpful for me as far as giving me what feels like a sense of community. And I found over time, like the last, let's say 12 months, I was also working to use social media less because it's kind of that like, catch all, use less Instagram and your life will get better. But what I found was I really just started to miss all the little communities that I had dotted around like different apps and stuff like that. And there were communities that we, see each other in real life and we talk. Some of them, some people I've never met on these things. I guess technically we've never met. But having all these communities where I'll kind of know I am at least understood or at least can have a dialogue, would basically kind of keep me regulated a lot of the time. And I think moving away from it and then kind of realizing after a while that I had this internal, like, I don't know, this disconnection from community. That's the only way I can kind of name it in any sort of sense. Just didn't feel good, for lack of a better word. And there were times where I'd be stressed or I would be going through something and not having like something like a phone to be able to just communicate or connect with people was really actually kind of like, not damaging, but like harmful. It is very easy to say, get off socials and your life will get better. But there are good things that come from it. And honestly, like having these groups and having all these different things where they're outside of a official or, what's the word, accredited circle is really helpful. And it's helped me learn that I can kind of depend on people, even if they're not directly in front of me.
I totally agree. It's been incredible for me to meet people through social media and create this online community. I move around a lot. You all know that. I love to live abroad and travel. And so that's amazing. And also it makes it difficult to maintain like in-person relationships because every time you move, well, distance does, impact the relationships that you had. And, you maybe change jobs, change industry, change so many things that, yeah, you start from scratch over and over again. And so having this online community of like-minded people, you can Terry, it's everywhere. It's right here. And so, for me, it's been incredible. Like I used to, the first episodes of the BPD bunch, I used to always say, oh, how did you guys end up in my head? Like, it was just this really weird sensation of like, where have all these people been all my life when I've been feeling so alone this whole time? Like I was a freak, like I was crazy, like I was broken. And then all of a sudden we're having these conversations and it's like, well, either we're all like that or maybe we're all just human. Yay. It's been so incredible. And I would say, like, as a concrete example, and this is kind of like, I suppose, in between, because it was in the realm of therapy in a way, like it was the group element. But yeah, anyway, one day I was in this group conversation, we all share the BPD diagnosis, and someone said, oh, it's so hard because I have this voice in my head that tells me you're a failure, a piece of shit, and you deserve to die. And that is literally what my voice says. And that, or used to say, and that moment was like penny drop, because I was looking at this individual who I've never met in person. We were online on a Zoom like this, but who I had seen, over several weeks, and who I thought, this guy is amazing. And he has all this stuff going on in his career and and he's such a beautiful person. And he's saying that, but that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, oh, maybe he would think that it doesn't make any sense that I'm saying that to myself. Oh, duh. And honestly, like, I even have goosebumps just saying it. Like, that was better than any therapist thing that, someone external, some expert in BPD could have told me. Because it just hit like so precisely with the same words what was happening for me internally. So yeah, I think there is so much to be said around peer group, peer support, online, offline, all of it. I'm here for it.
It's really beautiful because I've actually got to be with you throughout so many different of these experiences, and watch them and watch both you and me react to so many of these people and these stories. So it is a beautiful moment. And I've actually led BPD peer support groups as a peer mentor, a leader for Emotions Matter and for BPD Society BC. But I remember when I first led one of these peer groups and somebody was freaking out, and I just was like, I feel exactly like them. How do I respond? And I had to take several breaks in the very beginning of being a leader. Like I was just reactive mode constantly. But, the thing that it has given me, not just being within those groups and being in this group and being online, is now I could lead groups and nothing bothered me in the end. Like now I could lead a group. I can come into a room full of people. Now somebody says something and I know it's not about me. I wasn't reacting to that person. I was actually responding to something that was bothering me inside. I can be a witness and I can come back and notice and manage my emotions and not react to these people and be there with them. I can reflect and see how far I've come. And I couldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through these things. And so these little stories, these little memories can make me really reflect and be like, I have bravery, courage, and I'm the person I am today because of these support groups, because of what I went through.
If anybody's seen the movie Fight Club, you might remember that the main character goes to different support groups. And in the support group, he sees Helena Bonham Carter's character. He's like, that Marla, that tourist, that faker, because she's going to all these different support groups. He's going to a different support group every night for totally different things. And I always thought that part was funny because I've been going to support groups since the 80s. I started going to support groups with my grandmother, who had chronic fatigue syndrome, and she went to a support group for that. And I would just sit and listen. I'd just hang out with my grandma. I went to a support group with my mom that was a breastfeeding support group. So I was sitting in on that support group. When I was first diagnosed, I found the NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness support group. And all the support groups are free. Anybody can walk in. You don't have to come in with paperwork that shows a diagnosis. You don't even have to talk. You can just show up. And now we have the option of a lot of support groups are virtual. So I've done like the NAMI support group. And I think support groups, if you cannot get to therapy or there's a barrier to therapy, support groups are like the original form of it. You know, like in the 80s, I don't think people were doing a lot of therapy. It wasn't as accepted as now, but there was, you know, I remember sitting in on a support group. And I think the power of it is that it's a bunch of people coming together who are, sometimes they share a common problem, right? That's like the basis of it. And you can get advice from people. You can hear other people's experiences. You can hear other people's tips and tricks, and you can bring that into your own life. And it also gives you a sense of like, you're not alone. Oh, this person isn't able to get out of bed for days at a time with their chronic fatigue. This person's struggling with their baby crying a lot when they're trying to latch. Like it's so many things that make you feel like you're part of a larger community. And the one thing that I've noticed about all of the support groups I've ever attended, I start listening in on stuff and I'm like, you know what? All these people are the same. Like this person's struggling with alcohol. This person's struggling with fatigue. This person's struggling with her breastfeeding. But they're all like so similar in that they're struggling. And it's like a very, an experience of just feeling like you are not alone at all. Like everybody is struggling, and everybody in these groups are really, really vulnerable, super vulnerable. And it makes you feel like it's a safe space for you to be vulnerable too. I think they're really, really powerful.
I've definitely had a lot of the same experiences that everyone has mentioned, but for the sake of giving different perspectives, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. So when I first started getting real headway with my own recovery from BPD, I started talking about it a lot more online. And I started getting people reaching out to me to talk about their issues. And one of the things that really helped drastically propel me forwards on my journey was talking to other people who are actively struggling with different aspects of BPD. Felt like I could finally see myself from the outside. There were a lot of things that other people had said to me about my behavior and how it affected them that I just didn't understand because I was so consumed by my own emotions. So, like, for example, I've had somebody reach out to me and we were having a conversation, and I guess I didn't say something exactly the right way, and the person flipped and split on me and like just started cursing me out online. And it was definitely a difficult moment for me emotionally, and I just sort of disengaged from that conversation, but it gave me this sort of uncomfortable clarity. I came away from that situation being like, oh, this is how confused people feel when I just get angry at them all of a sudden. In the moment, to me, it makes perfect sense, but to them, it looks like what I just experienced from this other person. And I had a lot of experiences like that, where just being able to see what the behavior looked like as like a third party that's not emotionally invested in the event, I just like epiphany after epiphany after epiphany after epiphany. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is how people feel when I do that. I understand now. And I'm not judging any of those people I had conversations with. I'm really grateful to them actually for being willing to reveal that part of themselves to me, because I was, for the most part, able to help them, but also see myself with a lot more clarity than I'd ever been able to have before.
When I first started to engage with services, I have to hold my hand up and be honest, admit that I was actually looking for validation rather than comprehension. So I was only really interested in those people that seemed to back up what I already thought. And it took me a long time to realize that the support groups weren't about me finding people to back me up. It was about me finding people that allowed me to comprehend the more difficult aspects of my behavior and the way that my brain works. So touching on what Zanny said earlier on, I think unless you meet other people that have a similar diagnosis or similar life journey, it's very hard to step out of your own little bubble, because I think a lot of people, we all want to be right. It's very difficult to come to the realization that you might be doing something that was hurtful or unnecessary or not normalized in society. But honestly, it took me so many years, and coincidentally, it was actually stumbling across Zanny's original page back in the day, and there was this girl talking about all these things. I thought, that sounds so much like me. I thought, this is so weird.
The ability to hold yourself accountable for things that you've done, holding yourself accountable without shame specifically, will probably be the most important part about, well, maybe not the most important part, but a very important part of your journey. Like, yes, bad things have been done. Yes, you may have acted in ways that were bad. That does not make you a bad person. It just means the things that you did were bad. And holding accountability for effectively everything will really help you in finding those networks and those support places that will actually help you, as opposed to just validate the thing that you already want to get. And I feel like if you're watching this channel specifically, you're probably pretty well on the path of like wanting to take accountability and learn and work.
My friend told me that when you're in a support group and you are triggered by something that somebody is sharing, sometimes you might have a feeling that like you don't want to go back because you found that triggering and that person bothered you or whatever, but it's actually a sign that you should think about what it was that triggered you about that person or that share or whatever, because it's usually pointing to something that's like deeply affecting or bothersome to you. And it's like another way that you can use a support group. It's not just all about getting validation and agreement and camaraderie. It can be like, wait a minute, something that that person said or did was very triggering to me. And that is a sign that I need to really think about that and think about why. And so it can be another way to continue working on yourself.
Thank you everyone so much for watching. We hope you got a nugget of wisdom to take with you on your journey. Sunday we'll be back with our BPD Bunch brunch, and next Wednesday we've got a brand new discussion topic coming out. If you can't wait until Wednesday, please consider supporting our top 2 tiers on Patreon. Our BPD Buddies and BPD Besties get early access to extended cut versions of our Wednesday episodes. So if you are interested, next week's topic is available right now on Patreon. You can check it out in the link down below, and we'll see you next time.